Shabbat Shalom, although services haven't started yet, you know, we start right on time, and we're 5.5 minutes, and you guys are all here, and it's so nice, you're all so quiet. Can we maybe talk a little Hanukkah for next week? Everybody have a bag of potatoes? Yeah, you got an onion, got some applesauce. You've called up your local donut bakery, and you know where the jelly donuts are. All right, does everybody have candles? Okay, so you know the song, sing together? I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Okay, so you know that the dreidel in the song is made out of clay, right? And the problem is that very few people actually have a dreidel that's made out of clay. You do, but you're the only one in the room. Does anybody else? Yes, yeah, and he does. Okay, yeah. It's like it's because you live in the same house. So there's one clay dreidel in the whole neighborhood, and this is a real problem. So we started to investigate some alternative materials, like for instance, I have a little dreidel, I made it out of ice. It melted when I spun it, and that wasn't very nice. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of dirt. When I was finished playing, I had to change my shirt. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of bread. I never really spun it, I just ate it up instead. I have a little dreidel, it's made out of a bush. The problem is it's heavy and it knocked me on my tush. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of ants. But when I tried to spin it, they crawled right up my pants. I have a little dreidel, boy you should see it twirl. It really made me dizzy, I think I'm gonna hurl. I have a little dreidel, a chocolate-covered treat. Forget about the spinning, let's just sit down and eat. I have a little dreidel, I keep it on the shelf. If you want any more verses, you can make them up yourself. Years ago, when we were poor, a hungry old man came to our door. And though our Hanukkah meal was no big feast, it's a mitzvah, said Mama, come, join us and eat. Well, there wasn't enough when the stranger sat down, but we shared what we had as the plates went around. We sang, told stories as day became night, and then I lit the candles, the Hanukkah lights. Nes Gadol Hayapo, we would pray. Maybe a miracle will happen here today. Well, I was still hungry when the stranger sighed, smacked his lips, and said, it's time for latkes, such a treat tonight. Oh, but Papa turned red, and Mama turned white. 'Cause just one old potato was all Mama had, which the old man took and said, not bad. I know what you're thinking, but it still can be done, 'cause from a little, a lot can come. Nes Gadol Hayapo, we would pray. Maybe a miracle will happen here today. From the kitchen, we heard him mixing stuff. I said out loud, well, it won't be enough, but Papa gave my shin a gentle shove, saying, Shah, be still, have faith and love. And then that wonderful smell and that sizzling sound, and in just a few minutes came a steaming mound of latkes. I can't forget that night when a simple meal became a festival of light. Nes Gadol Hayapo, we would pray. Maybe a miracle will happen here today. Well, now I mix the batter and my children squeal in anticipation of our Hanukkah meal. And as the latkes crackle in my pan, I remember the story of the latke man. And with that, it is 7:30. Shabbat Shalom. Open up your prayer books to page 70. Remember, it's a Hebrew book. Goes from right to left, and we're looking at the black page numbers. Hine Matov, how good it is for all of us to be together. Hine Matov u'manayim shever achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shever achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim. Oy 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 shever achim gam yachad. Shevet achim oy achim gam yachad. Hine matoiv u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matoiv u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Oy 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim oy 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 achim gam yachad. How good it is for us to be together. Page 24 in your prayer book. I think a lot of you will know this. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Vo'achem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On our song sheet, do you have a song sheet? Yes. The Flame. Sun's going down, there's fire in the sky, it kindles a flame. Close the eyes, draw it into your heart, let it stay. Cherish this time when time slows down, when angels sing and peace is found, when the light of God transforms the night. We remember and keep the flame alive. Where there is light, justice grows and flows like a river of wine. All will be saved. Under the shade of the vine, under the shade of the tree, this is how we survive. We remember and keep the flame alive. To all my loved ones here in my heart, breath of my breath, part of my part, you're always with me, your love burns bright. We remember and keep you on this night. Where there is light, justice grows and flows like a river of wine. All will be safe and free under the shade of the vine, under the shade of the vine, under the shade of the tree, under the shade of the tree. This is how we survive. We remember and keep the flame alive.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Paul Kipnis. I'm one of the rabbis here at Congregation Orami, and with Cantor Doug Conther, we welcome you here to Shabbat services at the synagogue. We're thrilled that you're all here to celebrate with us. We have so many beautiful things happening tonight as we celebrate Shabbat. When I first got here at Congregation Orami, I missed the bar mitzvah of a very talented young man. He became bar mitzvah a few years before me, but then was part of the congregation, grew up here, went off to experience life, and comes back as Cantor Rabbi, he's both, Kyle Kotler, or we say Cantor 4.0, Rabbi 1.0, the first rabbi and first clergy person ordained who grew up here at Congregational RME. He came here. Cantor Rabbi Kotler came out west. He's the cantor at Beth Emmett
yeah.
in Evanston, Illinois. Cantor Doug Kotler and I were out there installing him some months ago. And he came home for a vacation, but there is no vacation when you're the child of the congregation. And he's no longer a child, so we wanted to share his voice with you here tonight. Thank you for being here with us. You all can kfel as we join. It's also such a big celebration. We're going to be naming a baby today. Mia, who was wandering around, she doesn't have to be here yet. She'll come in at her own time. We are thrilled also, Fred on oboe bringing us some beautiful music. One of our rabbinic interns, we have I think 4 interns this year. Adrian Pasternak will be sharing a drash, a Dvar Torah sermon later on tonight. Adrian, among the many things she's done for us, is she created the first Orami family retreat the week before the High Holy Days. Crazy time to do it, but we had overflowing numbers there, and we're doing it again this year. So we look forward to hearing that. And all of you are here to celebrate Shabbat. So let's take just a moment. We want to welcome all of you who are worshiping with us via the live stream. I used to say thank you to Bronze Productions, but he's in a new he changed the name of his company, and I forget what it is, but it's good. Next year we're going to be live streaming, we think, every service that we have services here. So we're excited about that. We say a mazel tov also to Mia's great-grandparents. I hope I get the name right. Raquel and Dr. Joseph Kanarak. Did I say that right? Yeah. Welcome, and we hope you're celebrating with us. Take a moment and turn to the people in front of you, behind, those you don't know, and say a Shabbat Shalom. Let's create warm community.
Take these wings to fly with. Shemibiti, with these roots you will grow. This is my promise. This is my blessing. You are the promise. You are the blessing. Shema b'ni. Shemi b'ti. God's children come into the shelter, a place of peace, a house of prayer, a center of learning, of justice, of giving, where everyone's loved and where everyone cares. Shema b'ni, Shemi b'ti. Mother comes, the cry of her infant. A young boy reads, becomes a man. Vows are exchanged, as two hearts become one. A daughter returns, reads Kaddish again. Shema b'ni. Shemi b'ti. You will fly on wings of eagles, and you shall grow like a sturdy tree. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, and you are the blessing. Shema b'ni, Shemi b'ti.
If there's a baby in the synagogue, I think we're getting ready for a naming.
Baruch haba, Baruch haba, Baruch haba, Baruch haba. We welcome now into this place a member of the Jewish faith. Levarech Adonai lasot mitzvah. Baruch haba, Baruch haba. Family and friends and God above. There is hope and lots of love. Adonai chaverim u'mishpacha. Yesh tikva, yesh ahava. Baruch haba, Baruch haba. Baruch haba, Baruch haba.
We celebrate one of the most beautiful, most awesome moments. Yes, your wedding was beautiful. Up there on the top of that hotel, got a little windy, Ruach Elohim, like at the creation of the world, that wind blowing through. You two looked beautiful, handsome, bound your lives together. As Cantor Doug and I stood there with you, with your community, your congregation, your family, we look forward to the life you would create And then you created even new life, this beautiful one, Mia. And so tonight, before your family, grandparents, siblings, aunts and uncles, cousins, we announce her name. So I've invited you to write a little bit to tell us about her name. And I wonder if you'd share that with us now.
Dearest Mia, or as you prefer to be called, Little Chunkster, Monk, Monkey, and Huggy Bear. Today we give you another name, a very special name, your Hebrew name. We named you Mia because I love the name Mia. Your middle name is Shirley, after my grandmother. My grandmother was a very unique woman. She was an actress with expensive taste and always loved a great party. We hope you embody her charismatic and outgoing personality. Just not too much, because we want you to focus on your education. We named you Sheli in Hebrew because your dad's grandpa, your great-grandpa, loved the name. And like a good grandson, Daddy listened to his grandpa. Coincidentally, Mia means mine in Spanish, and Sheli in Hebrew means mine. And since you have been born, you have been all ours. Now with your baby naming, you are officially part of this Jewish community, and we couldn't be any happier. We love you so much. Love your mommy and daddy.
There we have. No one has ever done that to me. Ever. This child is going to rule the world. Okay, we're totally there. I'm going to do it from over here. So, I love this. This is fantastic. Okay, come on. I asked you. Okay, let's go back over here. I asked you to think about the two of you. What kind of what kind of family it is. What kind of home and family you want to create for her. And you wrote some words, so share those with us.
We have been to so many places and had so much fun, and we couldn't imagine our life without you. Throughout this year, you have become more than just ours. You have made the world a better place. On at least 10 different occasions, you have been called the happiest baby people have ever seen. You have brought smiles to strangers, you have brought yelps to random doggies, and you have consumed ice cream without a single sign of lactose intolerance. We promise to continue the smiles and create a loving and adventurous home with lots of new adventures, joyful journeys, lots of great food, and of course, a lot of Chiefs, Jayhawk, and Royals games.
And so, tonight, we do a Brit Hanei Road to Covenant of Candles. Yes, because candles, there's 3 candles here. One for Daddy, one for Mommy, and out of their love, there's one for you. The first candle reminds us of Shabbat. We light Shabbat, 2 Shabbat candles to welcome in Shabbat. Shabbat in Exodus is called a sign of the covenant between God and our people. As we enter Mia into the covenant, we light 1 candle reminding us of that eternal covenant we have with God. The second candle reminds us of the Ner Tamid, that eternal light, reminding us of God's everlasting presence, always here. Maybe a rabbi, presidential candidate, maybe
A rock star.
rock star, either way. Reminder that God's presence is always with us. And so I'm going to have you, Dad, if you will light this candle here. And then can you light one? Okay, try this one here. recite a blessing together. It goes Baruch Tevitzivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Yom Tov, to command us to light the light of a beautiful, good day. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam.
Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
Yeah.
I'd now like to invite up grandparents from both sides to join us up on the bima. Let's have Ike and Brooke on this side, aunts and cousins from Brooke's side over here, and from Marty's side, let me have you on the other side, and cousins come on up too. And I need someone to take that, Graham.
Yes.
Will you take this? There you go, sit down.
Grandma.
And if I can have, mic drop. And if I can have the grandparents hold on to that. Okay, you come on in here.
But it's giving her entertainment.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, kayem et hayalda zot lavia u'leima, v'karei shma b'Yisrael, Shali bat Mordechai v'Chana Malka, Yismacha b'yotzei chalatza v'tagel ima b'frividna, zot ketana gedola tiyeh. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, sustain this child through her parents' loving care, and let her be known among our people Israel by the name Shali, daughter of Mordechai and Chana Malka. May her name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our people and all humankind. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and of soul. Now I'm going to ask the whole congregation to join me. Repeat Hebrew and English after me. Kashem, Shenich Nasa, Lavrit, Kain Tikanes, Lechupa, the Torah, Ulama'asim, Tovi. As they have brought her into the covenant, so may they, with wisdom and patience, lead her to the study of Torah, to a life of good deeds, and to a marriage worthy of God's blessing. And let us all say, Amen. And lastly, a blessing, Birkat Kohanim, same blessing we blessed your parents under the bima, same blessing we'll say when you start religious school, and then at her bat mitzvah some years later. So mark the date. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God be with you wherever you are, and grant you the most precious of blessings, the blessing of shalom. And we all say, Amen. We thank God for giving us life, for keeping us in life, and for bringing us to this special moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Page 28 in the prayer book. La 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 Please rise. Baruch Hu Adonai Hamevo בחושך, בחושך, מפני אור, ומעביר יום, ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל החי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה, אדוני, המעריך הרבים. הללליילה, הללליילה, הללליילה,
Please be seated. Rabbi Nicole Guzik, one of the rabbis at Sinai Temple here in Los Angeles, wrote words that I think most of us in this sanctuary feel and have felt very deeply these last weeks. She writes, "Our world sometimes feels very dark. The murders that took place at the kosher supermarket in New Jersey, the desecration of the Nessa synagogue here in Beverly Hills, 3 college students attacked for being Jewish at Indiana University, and most recently, just this week, the vandalism and graffiti at American Jewish University, Milken High School, and other Jewish institutions. Hate begets hate. Insecurity and ignorance rise from the shadows, like night rolling in, and it breeds malice and fear." My friend, Rabbi Sarah Sapadin, reminded us that we should be haunted by the words of Elie Wiesel of blessed memory, who said, "Once I thought that anti-Semitism had ended. Today it is clear to me that it will probably never end." So we stand witness, we all must stand witness, disheartened, distressed, and outraged over these baseless acts of cruelty and hatred. If there's a lesson to be gleaned for the Jewish people at this moment, perhaps it's the one that Rabbi Guzik suggests, that the darkness in this world only magnifies our sparks of light, the light of blessing, the light of kindness, the light of peace. In the face of the anger and the hatred and the evil, we need to be steadfast, to be loving, kind, resolute, and hopeful. Ner Adonai Nishmat Adam. God's light is the soul of each human being, which means we are each endowed with God-given potential to illuminate the darkest corners of the earth, to use our free will to brighten the bleakest days. We must shine like a fully lit Chanukiah and remind those that want to take us down to take heed. Our spirit, fierce and strong, will continue to blaze for all eternity. This is our promise. This is our legacy. So as we look ahead to Hanukkah, may we find strength in the memory of the Maccabees, who fought for religious freedom against all odds and battled for our right to preserve our unique religious identity. May we demand kindness, may we demand love, may we demand that people treat each other and talk about each other and use social media to speak about each other and create a world with each other that's about kindness and love. May we bravely publicize the miracle of the holiday in our homes, in our places of worship, elsewhere, everywhere, for people to see. And may the light of Hanukkah candles shine as a beacon of hope in this unfathomable darkness. For the flames of understanding, of compassion, of uncompromising acceptance can never be distinguished. And when you're scared, and when you feel alone because of this hatred, and when you don't know where to turn or what to do, just close your eyes and listen. Page 34.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen, listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen, listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your mind. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen, listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen, listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam. To our God. Listen, listen to our God. Please be seated. We'll continue on page 40. Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele Adonai imloch Leolam va'ed, Adonai imloch Leolam va'ed.
Cantor Cotler. Who wrote that?
Cantor Cotler.
The Amidah, page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, עזרת שרה. Page 50. אתה גיבור לעם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, ישנה עפר. ומדרוך הגבורות, ומדום אליו, מלך מנהיג ומחייב, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. 52. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל
We remain standing and pray silently the rest of the Amidah through page 60, either the words on the page or those in your heart. When you are done, please be seated. We turn in our prayer books to page 63. And let's pray together on page 63 in the middle of the page. We reach for you, our God, from our quiet places. May we stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadow on the leaves. For a brief moment, listen to the world. And stop the wheels of every day to be aware of Shabbat. Find the stillness of the sanctuary which the soul cherished. Renew the covenant of an ancient people. We need a quiet place to test the balance of our days, the weight of our own deeds against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precious. Carry us, steady us with faith. Quiet places in stillness, where we will hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places in stillness, from which we will reach out to each other. We will find strength in silence, and with this strength, we will turn again to your service. I invite you to turn in your prayer books to page 253. The world keeps moving forward, from darkness to light, and light to darkness. And we go on our way. And we run after things. And we run after our livelihood. There are bills to pay and children to watch over, family to be concerned about, things to get done. And then in the middle of the night or the brightness of the midday or anywhere in between, something happens. Something breaks in the fabric of our lives, big or small, and we are torn, and we feel that pain deep in our bellies. It might be something simple like a flu that gets us down, a little germ that gets in there and wreaks havoc on our day. Or it might be a loved one who goes down or breathes her last breath. It might be that recognition that the way we've been living forward in life is not going to work anymore. That the job doesn't work, that the pregnancy isn't going to term, that the addiction is drawing us down, that the fears we had have come to fruition as the relationship falls apart and the loneliness descends. The brokenness happens in the midst of the brightness of the day or the darkness of the night. And we, just clay touched by the divine, need to find a way to walk forward. And it hurts. And we are lonely. There's nothing anyone who can say to make it easier. But sometimes the hand of a loved one holding us up. Or the recognition that there's a community that will reach out and just let us know that we're not alone. Or the words that connect us like a lightning cable from our inner turmoil to the Holy One, wherever God is. Those words of prayer carry us through. And so tonight we say, as we always do, a Misha Berach, a prayer to the Holy One, to help us get through that tear in the fabric of our existence, to carry us through for a moment till the next moment. Some of you here are asking for blessings of your loved ones, blessing of healing, for strength, for love, for patience, for courage. As is our tradition, as I bring my hand around the room, I invite you to mention their names and their relationship to you aloud. Say, my Uncle Fred, my friend Sophie. Don't whisper. You can't catch it. say it aloud so we can support each other. Tonight, we ask for blessings of healing for
Hillary Weiss.
For all of them and all of us, we sing the indented words on 253. Misha Berach.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Our rabbinic intern, Adrian Pasternak.
Raise your hand if you're the youngest sibling in your family. Anyone else have older siblings? Now keep your hand up if your older siblings were ever jealous of you.
Oh God.
Still are.
Still.
Personally, I am the oldest of my siblings, and I can think of many times when I was jealous of my little brother. There's a middle sister too, but we'll save that for another Shabbat. I used to think that my little brother was spoiled. Most irritating of all, he always got to sit in the front seat of the car. In my parents' eyes, it seemed that he could do no wrong. Because my parents figured out everything while raising my sister and me, my brother got relaxed parents who knew when to push and when to let go. It was frustrating. In this week's Torah portion, Vayeshev, we begin the story of Joseph, he of the Technicolor Dreamcoat, a spoiled child who so irritated his brothers that they wanted to kill him, literally. The Joseph narratives continue to unfold over the next 4 weeks until we end the reading of the book of Genesis. In the Parsha's opening verses, we learn that Joseph was the favorite son of his father Jacob, which earned him both a special coat of many colors and also the envy and hatred of his 10 older brothers. This spoiled and slightly egocentric boy told his brothers about his dreams. In the first dream, a sheaf of wheat, representing Joseph himself, stood up straight, while the other sheaves, representing his brothers, bowed down to his sheaf. In another dream, the stars, sun, and moon bowed down to Joseph. Joseph explained to them that these dreams prophesied that one day he would rule over his brothers and his parents. Needless to say, Joseph's brothers were furious about his dreams and equally angered at the dreamer himself. In the Torah readings, concluding verses, Joseph's predictions did not seem to be panning out, as he has gone from being his father's favorite son to being thrown into a pit and then cast down into slavery. From slavery, Joseph rose up to a position of authority and power, only to fall again into a jail cell. The Torah tells us that while Joseph languished in prison, 2 other prisoners, the royal baker and butler, were in prison too. One night, these 2 men each had a dream. The butler dreamt about wine and the baker about baked goods. In the morning, Joseph asked them to tell him their dreams so he could interpret them. The butler said, "In my dream, I saw a grapevine. On the grapevine were 3 branches with many clusters of grapes. I dreamt that Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. I took the grapes and squeezed them into the cup. Then I put the cup of wine in Pharaoh's palm." Joseph quickly interpreted the dream. The 3 branches are 3 days. After 3 days, Pharaoh will reinstate you to your position. Once again, you will place Pharaoh's cup in his hand. Subsequently, the baker said, "I saw 3 baskets on my head. In the upper basket were many kinds of baked goods, and wild birds flew down and ate them from the basket." Joseph told him that the 3 baskets were symbolic of 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will hang you, and the birds will eat your flesh. As you can imagine, the baker was not pleased. 3 days later, the baker was killed, and Joseph's reputation as a Joseph had to learn how to manage his own emotions, and because of that, he became a great leader, found empathy for his brothers, and in the end, saved his family and our entire people. Although in the beginning of the story, Joseph's dream interpretations got him into trouble with his brothers, almost getting him killed, by the end, interpreting dreams saved his life. What was the difference in Joseph from the first set of dreams to the second set? Joseph's first dreams were egocentric, focused on himself, and furthermore, he lacked the maturity needed to understand why he shouldn't have shared those dreams with his brothers. The second set of dreams were interpreted by a much wiser Joseph, the Joseph who was left to die in a dark pit, made into a slave, and spent his days in jail. It seems Joseph needed to hit rock bottom in order to build himself back up on his own. Descending into a place of darkness, he discovered within himself the drive to seek light. Every year, the Joseph story is read right before or during the festival of Hanukkah. What's the connection between the Joseph story and the upcoming Festival of Lights? Since I don't believe in coincidences, I searched for the connections. Albert Einstein once said that darkness is the absence of light. Hanukkah is near the winter solstice, the darkest time of year. We light candles during this time to remind us that even during the darkest times, we can still shine light in the world. We learn from Joseph's story about the vicissitudes of life, that life is full of ups and downs, moments of darkness and moments of light. It leads us to reflect on the inevitability of descending into darkness before we can find our way back to the light. The juxtaposition of Hanukkah and the story of Joseph reminds us that no matter how dark the times may be, we can still make the world brighter. In Talmudic times, 2 great sages, Rabbis Hillel and Shammai, debated the proper way of lighting the Hanukkah candles. Shammai argued that we should start with all 8 candles and then light 1 less each night until the menorah was empty. Shammai argued that this is what would have happened with the miracle of the oil burning for 8 nights. The light would have become smaller each night until it extinguished on the 8th night. Hillel argued that by lighting 1 additional candle for each night of Hanukkah, we express the miracle that the lights burned for 8 days. Hillel's ruling won the debate. The tradition follows Hillel's opinion as we increase the light of our world on both a physical and spiritual level. Light brings hope and reminds us to continue shining hope, faith, and good deeds into the darkest corners of our world. Like Joseph, who descended into darkness before he attained the wisdom to see the light, as we light our Hanukkah lights, may we each do our share to illuminate the darkness. May our dreams lead us into action so that we may make this world a better place in which to live, and may we share the spark of God within each of us with one another. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. On our song sheet, song number 3. 1, 2, 3. v'simcha, hora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Hora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha.
יום זה לישראל, אורה ושמחה, אורה ושמחה, אורה ושמחה, שבת מנוחה, אורה ושמחה, אורה ושמחה, שבת מנוחה. יום זה לישראל, אורה ושמחה,
Hora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Hora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yismach Moshe,
ישמח משה,
Yismach Moshe,
במתנה חלקו, במתנת חלקו.
ומה קראת לו?
ומה קראת לו?
כבן נאמן קראת לו, קראת לו, קראת לו.
עבד נאמן קראת לו, קראת לו, קראת לו.
כי ומה קראת לו?
ומה קראת לו?
לי בראשו נתת לו, נתת לו, נתת לו.
כלילה בראשו נתת לו, נתת לו, נתת לו. יום זה לישראל, אורה ושמחה,
אורה ושמחה, אורה ושמחה, שבת מנוחה. אורה ושמחה, אורה ושמחה, שבת מנוחה. שבת, שבת. If you give a sermon like that, Rabbi, we'll sing something like this for you.
There you go. There you go. My interns, they do the babies, they do. I'm staying home.
Stealing your microphone.
There it is. It's coming over all over. Shabbat Shalom. We are thrilled that you are here celebrating Shabbat with us. A few announcements to let you know. In the far corner of the foyer, near just near the Xerox room near my office, you'll see the Orami apparel store. It's the beginning. If you think we should have the t-shirts or sweatshirts or sweats in different colors, we know, but we're just starting out. So it's like the don't fetch fell. Don't tell me, because I know it already. But order them. They make great gifts for Hanukkah and for your non-Jewish friends for Christmas also.
This is how Bergdorf and Macy's started.
Just
like this.
Wasn't Bergdorf just bought out? And
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So,
Well,
but they're taking over.
We're taking over, yeah.
There it is. So you can buy them online, orami.org/shop. But Hanukkah's coming up, and you want to make sure your loved ones know you love them. Hanukkah is coming up too. Next Friday, you coming?
Where? To Hanukkah services? Yes, I'll be here.
We have this down to a science, the back and forth. So if you have tots of 5 o'clock, there it is. Yeah, finally.
Wait, you're talking about tater tots? What kind of
No,
tots?
tots like little kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have the Tot Shabbat 5 o'clock. We have a community dinner from 5:30 to 6:30. It's going to be delicious. And then a multi-generational Hanukkah service with a bring your own Hanukkah and candles at 6:30. Sign up. You don't have to sign up for the services, but the dinner do come. It's subsidized. You're totally going to want to be there. Now, we need to learn. Earlier this last month, we had the head of the Religious Action Center schlepped all the way out to Little Orami to speak about the work of social justice. On January 14th, we're going to have a group of Jews and Muslims who are in dialogue. It's called New Ground, coming here to speak about living in a shared world. It's an evening of Muslim-Jewish dialogue. It will be fascinating. It will blow your mind what they're talking about and how they work it through. Young, in their 20s and 30s, they'll be here for that discussion. Come and join us. And then mark your calendar on February 7th. The first woman who is the head of the Reform Movement Legacy Organization, Rabbi Hara Person, the head of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, will be here on our bima speaking. It is a major honor. She just assumed the position of chief executive in July, and this is about her third or fourth trip out. She's going to out to be speaking. She'll be with us. Make sure you join us for that. Now on March 7th, if you're not busy, Orami 1, the greatest party of the year, is going to be happening, and I've been told that they have a wonderful honoree and then a secondary one. Let me tell you about the main honoree. Michelle November has a stellar career of 35 years of service to the Jewish community. Some would say that's impossible because she looks about 37. Yeah, it's true because we said the same thing. But actually 35. A couple of those years were when she was 4 and 5, so she's just there. She served as National Director of the College Education Department of the Union of American Hebrew Congregations back when the URJ was called the UAHC. She planted Reform Jewish college groups on campuses all over America and in Canada, so that our kids, when they go into Hillel, it's great, but sometimes it doesn't quite speak to them. So she supported the leaders and created these groups, and some of the leaders in synagogues around the country today are people who learned leadership skills on college campuses because of the work that Michelle did. Then she went to Stephen Wise Temple, schlepping her husband, an East Coast boy who knew nothing from that, out to Weirdo, California, where she became the program membership director at Stephen Wise Temple, creating family retreats, taking over their family support center, and providing deep support for people, creating support groups for people in bereavement, in going through mental health crises and more, and brought thousands of young people and adults into the Jewish world. From there, she went to some other places until she found her way to Toledo High School, second largest Jewish high school in the country, where as the director of admissions, she admitted our 3 kids into the school. No, she wasn't director of admissions then, right? Okay, but she was, I think, assistant director then, which is how they got in. No, they're really smart kids. Please delete that, Jacob, from what I just said. They got in on their own merit. But bringing a couple of thousand families now into advanced Jewish learning, creating community, and sending them off into the world with not only fantastic education, but great values. We're honoring her for a lifetime of service with the Samuel A. Wolfson Community Service Award. In addition, Rabbi Paul Kipnis is getting some Door of a Door Award down here. He's done some good stuff as a rabbi somewhere. So for many of you, tickets come as part of your partnership. For others, they do not. This is the time you want to buy those tickets because it's before the year end and it's a great thing. You can go online. You can get tributes. You can sponsor some of the things. We now have a candy bar thanks to some sponsors, and we're going to have drinks there. There's a board out in the front where you can help be sponsors of the event. Come, it's going to sell out. It's at the Skirball Cultural Center. It's going to be a smashing evening with great food.
What are they serving?
Proteins,
Oh, sounds delicious.
and there will be dessert.
That sounds good.
Candy. I know there's candy.
Okay, I'm good.
There it is.
I'm coming.
You going?
I'm coming.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So join us. Don't wait till last minute to get your tickets because it will sell out. And you want to honor Michelle and the other honoree. Services next week. I told you about, so I don't have to tell you about that.
It's a hard transition, but we are going to say Kaddish.
Thank you.
So I'll play a minor chord.
The light of Hanukkah that's coming up this week brings light into the darkened world, the winter solstice, as we talked about with Adrian. That at the darkest part of the year, we choose lights and put them in our windows to bring light back into the world. How apropos that as we stand prepared to say Kaddish, and the darkness of loss and memory surrounds us, that we also remember the light these people brought into our lives, the light of hope and of possibility and of love and memory. Some of you here are remembering the lights that shined a way forward for you, our loved ones who are no longer with us. As is our tradition, I'll bring my hand around the room and invite you to mention their names and the relationship to you. And then we'll say Kaddish together on page 294. Tonight, we ask for blessings of healing for Asher ben Elchanan Esther. We turn to page 294, and as one community we rise as we say together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmeid kedusha brichu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleni ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav u'yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, Imru, Amen. Let me invite you to take your prayer books, close them, put them on the chair behind you. If you're so comfortable, put your arms around the people next to you. If you're not, step aside or do it anyways. As we do at every board meeting, at the end of every board meeting and every youth group session, every school moment, every camp session, we sing Hashkivenu, our evening prayer. I'll give you the words and you'll sing with us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu.
L'shalom.
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 V'ha'amidenu shomreinu.
Ha'amidenu shomreinu.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Ufros aleinu.
Ufros aleinu.
Sukkot shlomecha. Ufros aleinu.
Ufros aleinu. Sukkot shlomecha.
Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings.
Shelter us beneath thy wings.
O Adonai.
O Adonai.
Guard us from all harmful things.
Guard us from all harmful things.
O Adonai.
O
Teach us daily wrong from right.
Teach us daily wrong from
Oh,
right.
Adonai.
Oh, Adonai.
Amen. We celebrated as a baby joined the covenant with the Jewish people. We learned Torah from a student who will soon be a rabbi. We watched and listened as one of our young people, now rabbi and cantor, with his father, our cantor, led us in music. We celebrated the joy of freedom, recognizing that there are those who want to take away that freedom, even now, from this side and that side and all over, and we need to stand up and be like the shamus and light the lights so that there will be brightness in the world. In the face of darkness, we Jews don't cower. We speak up, we speak out, we demand people end the hatred on all sides against all people. And then there will be light and goodness for all, and then we will sing again in prayer. Thank you to our oboist, Fred, it was beautiful. Thank you to our musicians. You'll join us in the foyer. We'll collect the song sheets, the prayer books. You can either put back there or nicely on the chairs. Join us for Motzi and Jim.